Today in our 2018 Ford Flex, we're going to be doing a test on the Inno square bar roof rack system. We'll be using part numbers INB147 for the 58-inch long black steel square crossbars, and part number INSUT for the Inno feet for the square crossbars, and part number INK263 for the custom fit kit. This Inno roof rack system is going to allow us to carry roof-mounted accessories on our Ford Flex. Things like bike racks, kayak carriers, roof boxes, and much more. It has the traditional square bar design. Now these aren't going to be as quiet as an aero style. Like anything we put on a roof, it's going to make a little bit of noise. If you'd like to keep that down to a minimum, you can pick up a fairing to place on the front crossbar. Now, as I said in the intro, the bars are 58 inches long. When mounted, we've actually got about 49 inches of usable space. That's more than enough room to put a few accessories. And they're going to work with your standard clamp-on accessories. The crossbars are held in place by 4 Inno feet. These are designed perfectly to work with our naked roof on our Flex. That way they don't harm or scratch that roof. Now the hooks that secure our roof rack system to the inside of the door jamb also offer some protection. They're rubber coated, and they too are custom fit to work with our Flex. Now this roof rack system also includes locks. That way no one can remove it from our roof. This is a step up compared to other roof rack systems where you have to pick up separate cores. This includes them, so you don't have to pick up any other parts. You can see here how it even covers our hardware. That way it cannot be tampered with. When using this roof rack system, if you have the sunroof option, I'd like to point out that you still have full operation of that. Now this roof rack system has a weight capacity of 220 pounds. That's a step up compared to other roof rack systems. You're going to be able to carry a lot more accessories on this system without worrying about the weight. You do, however, want to check with your vehicle's owner's manual to see if your roof can support that much weight. Now we'll give you some dimensions. This may help you when carrying accessories or pulling in and out of your garage. From the top of the roof to the underside of the square bar is about 2 inches. From the top of the roof to the top of the square bar is about 3 inches. Now that we've got all the features, I'll go ahead and show you how to get it installed. We've already got our front crossbar in place. Let's show you how we did that. Per our instructions, we measured over from the 2 doors to center on both sides and got our placement. The rear one installs the same way. Let's go ahead and get started. I've already got one of my feet installed in the bar here. Let's do the other side together. So we'll grab the other foot and we're going to do some assembly. What we want to do is we'll grab our hook. We're going to set it in place on top of the bolt there. Then we'll grab the locking bracket, put that over top. Then we'll take the large square nut and start threading that on. Now we'll do a couple threads. We just want it loosely installed, like so. Then we'll take that locking bracket, set it over. We'll be sure that the opening is facing up, as you see it here. And then we'll take our large nut and thread that on a little bit. Now we don't want to thread it on all the way. We want it loosely installed, like so. Now before you put the foot in place on the bar, it's important that the ridges on the square bar are facing up. Now the way you slide it onto the square bar is you press down on the bolt here where my thumb is, and it releases the grip here. So as we push down, you can see that move. So from here we can take it while holding it down and slide it in place. And then as we let go, it grips and is locked in. Now we need to take a measurement and make sure that our feet are in the correct position on the square bar. So we can grab our included tape measure, and what we need to do first is find the center of the crossbar. Now the nice thing is about the included tape is that it finds the center of the bar for us. It's actually labeled. So we'll zero it at the end of the bar here, and we'll stretch it out until we find the part number of the actual square bar, which is located right here. And the part number is INB147. So the arrow here marks our center. Now you can do this a few different ways. You can mark it with a pen. I like to use my fingernail. Just apply a little bit of pressure, and then we've got our mark. From here, we can turn our tape measure around, place the 0 on the center, and per our instructions, we need to be 630 millimeters to the front of the foot here. We can adjust our foot out, and we're all set. And we can repeat the same process with the other foot. Then we can put our end cap on. Just push it in place, like so. And then we'll put on our base pad. Now it only goes on one way. So once you've got it lined up, just push it in place. Just like that. Once it's assembled, we can go ahead and set it in place on our flex. Now we'll want to gently set it in position in the general area. With it set in place, we need to take one last measurement. Per our instructions, we need to measure 500 millimeters from the center of our two doors to the center of the hook. So we can take our included tape. Now it is measured in inches and centimeters. So 50 centimeters converts to 500 millimeters. So we'll set 50 between our two doors, and we'll measure to the center of our fit hook. Once we've got it in place, we'll want to be sure and check the other side as well. Now we can start tightening them down. Now, as we talked about before, we want to be sure that our locking bracket is facing upward. So if it has fallen down, you can just turn it back up, just like that. And then we'll start turning that nut until it raises our fit hook up to make contact with the inside of the door. And we want to do that for both sides. Now we can take our included tool and tighten them the rest of the way down. Now, it's important that you alternate between the two sides, so do a few turns here and then a few turns to the other side. Now the nice thing about this included tool is it is a torquing knob. It's going to prevent us from over tightening and under tightening. Once we tighten it up to the correct torque setting, it will click. Once everything's torqued down, we can go ahead and take our locking cap, make sure that it's facing up, push it all the way on, and lock it up. And we're all set. Now we can load up our favorite roof-mounted accessory on our flex and head down the road. And that's going to complete our test fit of the Inno Square Bar Roof Rack system on our 2018 Ford Flex.